Hi, this is Doug Upstone, and I'm talking with Ross Benjamin today, and we're looking at over-under totals for the Major League Baseball season as far as home runs and pitcher win totals. Now, we have some different points of view here that we'll share back and forth, and obviously on these videos and the articles that are written, we encourage you also to comment with our opinions and see if you agree or disagree with what we're saying. Ross, welcome back to the show. And hey, let's, I know you wanted to cover some more of the home run hitters. So what do you have for me to start with?
Well, let's start with Adam Jones. I like him to go over 27.5 home runs. I mean, this is a guy who's hit 29 home runs or more in each of the previous 3 seasons. He's averaged 31.3 homers during that time per season. He is in a hitter-friendly ballpark, as you well know, Doug. Camden Yards certainly is conducive to big power numbers. This is also a guy that's very durable. I mean, he's had 618 or more at-bats in each of his previous 4 seasons. So he's going to get plenty of opportunities, and that includes he played 160 games last year and 162 games in 2013. I like Paul Goldschmidt to go under 28.5, and I don't mean any disrespect toward this, toward his ability, I should say. It's just a fact, Doug, he's not going to have any hitters around him this year, and it's not like Arizona is a hitter-friendly ballpark, so to speak. So I like him to go under 28.5 home runs. He's coming off an injury-plagued season in 2014 that saw him just go play in 107 games. And then I'm going to look at Matt Kemp going under 21.5 home runs. Again, this guy's a highly volatile player. Who knows what kind of character issues he's going to bring to the San Diego Padres clubhouse. Granted, this is going to be a club that's much improved on paper entering the 2015 season. But you know what, Doug? 81 games at Petco Park, and he's only hit 54 homers combined the last 4 years, excuse me. So 2 of which were cut short by injuries, 2 of the last 3 years, let me be specific. So I don't see him topping the 21.5 home run barrier. And then I know that you're going to disagree with me on this one. Troy Tulowitzki, over 25.5 home runs. And before you go on your serenade about his health issues, let's remind everybody he plays at Coors Field. Last year, he hit 21 home runs in just 91 games. 2013, 25 home runs in 125 games. He's hit 21 or more home runs in 5 of the last 6 years, and he's playing in Coors Field, folks. I like Troy Tulowitzki over 25.5 home runs.
Well, you're right about the last thing you just said, Ross. I agree with you. I do not like Tulowitzki in that instance. And again, it's just a matter of health. Now, if he plays the whole season, I got no argument with you whatsoever on that one at all. Goldschmidt, I can certainly see that's the case. I have to agree. It depends really to me if Trumbo plays. If Trumbo's healthy, plays 140 games, bats 5th or at least 6th, I think he'll have a shot. Jones from Baltimore, 100% agree with you on that one. I'm going to probably lean a little bit with Kemp. Always in these cases, health is the big issue. I think Kemp has a shot. They've moved the fences in for the second consecutive season at Petco Park. I think there's an opportunity. He hit a lot of home runs at Dodger Stadium in the latter part of last year, so I think he's a shot. Has a shot at that one, so I'm 100% with you on Jones. 100% in a disagreement with Tulowitzki, but you know, the other two, I can certainly go either way. Now let's talk about some pitchers, Ross. I got Jordan Zimmermann at over 14.5 wins for the Washington. As we talked about in another video, this is the guy actually that I like more than Strasburg. Overall, he walks in the last 3 years, he's walked less than 2 batters per 9 innings. I think this he pounds the strike zone with a variety of fastballs that he uses. I like him over 14.5 wins. What do you think, Ross?
Well, I tend to agree with you there. I mean, I like Strasburg more just because I think he's got a lot more upside, and I do believe Strasburg is primed for a career year this year. But I mean, I can't argue with when you're talking about 14.5 wins on a ball club. I think it's going to win 100 games this year. I can't disagree with that position. I'll tell you one guy I think is vastly underrated, and he showed that a year ago, and his win total is just leaves us at a good value here to go over 11.5 wins on Jake Arrieta of the Chicago Cubs. I mean, this guy, when he was cast into the role as an ace last year due to all the injuries that the Cubs sustained in their starting pitching rotation, he proved to be a top-notch pitcher. And as we well know, the Cubs on paper should be a much improved ball club this year. I like him to go over 11.5 wins. And I also like Phillip Hughes to go under 11.5 wins and Sonny Gray under 12.5 wins.
Sonny Gray, that's an interesting one. Arrieta, I can go either way on that one. One that I know you'll definitely agree with me on, though, is Corey Kluber over 14.5. You know, last year he won 18 games. I think they got a better team this year. I think he's going to have even more confidence. He has all the pitches. I really like him to easily surpass 14.5 wins this upcoming season, Ross.
Well, I mean, if I'm picking him where I picked him in our other video, which was one of my 3 favorites to win the most games in all of Major League Baseball, I'd be contradictory if I didn't agree with you on that one. Yeah, Sonny Gray started the year last year, Doug, again, for the Oakland A's, red hot. He tailed off at the end of the year, and I didn't like the way he looked in the second half of the season. And this is an Oakland team that's on a downslide right now. And Phillip Hughes winning 16 games last season was a bit of an aberration, and I do believe that he'll come back down to earth on a very weak Minnesota Twins team this season.
Yeah, Twins are going to be brutal all year. Now, one guy that I do like, one more guy that's going to go up, I think, over the number is Adam Cashner of San Diego. Again, I think this is a much improved team with the Padres. I think another attribute here, even though he's only won 10 games once in his career, if he stays healthy, I think he will have a very good chance. And I think that's an important part. And this relates to Washington pitchers as well. Having a guy like Max Scherzer, I think, is going to help all the other Washington pitchers because he goes deeper in the games. Granted, he's been in the American League, but he's shown that he has a little more, let's just call it guts, to go deeper into games. And I think James Shields coming over to San Diego will have the same effect on Adam Cashner to be a little bit tougher pitcher, to be able to work deeper into the game and do a better job. The one guy I do not like to go over, and it's even though his number's fairly short at only 11.5, is Chris Tillman with Baltimore. I look at that team as definitely on the slide. They won 96 games a year ago. This upcoming year, their win total is only 83. They've lost a lot of good offensive talent on that team, and also the bullpen really got hit. So I think that could ultimately hurt Tillman. And the other thing, now maybe this is just an anomaly for one season, but his strikeouts per 9 innings went from 8.6 to 7.5. So that's a big drop in one season for a guy that's in the middle of his career. And I'm just not sure that he's going to get the job done. So I think Chris Tillman's an underplay coming into this season.
Yeah, I agree with you on Tillman. I never really liked Tillman an awful lot. And you made a key point, their bullpen. I mean, they're capable of blowing a lot of games this year for their starting pitching staff. So, yeah, I agree with your position there on under 11.5 on Chris Tillman.
Well, excellent, Ross. Once again, great insights, and there's some really interesting things for all bettors to consider in terms of home runs for over and unders, and then also for starting pitchers for over and unders. So this is Doug Upstone for Ross Benjamin at Sportsbook Review, and we'll be with you soon during the season to check in and see how all these different props are turning out.